first thing I wanted to talk about today was self-concept. Self-concept stood out to me just because it helped me figure out the technical term of what it is when you are looking at yourself and trying to figure out things about yourself and just like what you know about yourself, basically. Uh, then I learned about self-esteem. Self-esteem is basically when you figure out those things about yourself and your self-concept. Do you like those things about yourself? Do you dislike those things about yourself? And then that will make it to whether you like or dislike something about yourself. Just make you feel better or worse about yourself. So, and then learning about reflected appraisal. Um, it's just like how people will look at you and maybe tell you something about yourself or let you know something and how that can affect your self-concept and how you feel about yourself and your perception of yourself. And social comparison is another thing that I learned. And it's how you look at groups that you're around and you compare yourself to them. And then reference groups are when you compare yourself, do you see whether you're better, worse, or the same as that person that you compare yourself to, or group that you compare yourself to. Impression management is the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and the reason why it stood out to me was just like really figuring out how we act different in different situations to control the way people look at us or how they perceive you, and learning how we have multiple identities. You gonna act different with different people, whether it be your mom or your friend, versus how you act with your friend or how you act with your pastor if you're religious. You're gonna be different. And learning about the perceived self versus the presented self, and how the perceived self is how you feel that you act in a certain situation, and how that might not always be accurate, or everybody might not agree with that. And learning about the presented self was basically how you try to present yourself to people to make them feel like this is how you act, or maybe it is how you feel like you act in that type of situation. So, self-disclosure is another thing I wanted to talk about. It just and it stood out to me because it's figuring out that the closing stuff with yourself can't just be like the basic stuff that people can figure out about. It can't be something that you have to actually tell them, or like just really hard for them to figure out, basically. And it's for in order to be self-disclosure. And one thing I learned about in here in self-disclosure was the social penetration model. And the social penetration model is basically like the breadth versus the depth of the conversation, and how much information you give versus how much you get into it, how deep you go into that information that you gave. And then learning about self-disclosure, or during studying of self-disclosure, was the Johari window. And it's how it's set up to like how it can be like in certain situations, in certain relationships and conversations. It's gonna be stuff that you may not know, that the other person may know, the unknown to you may be known to them, or the known to you may be unknown to them, or the hidden, you might hide stuff from them, or like you might not know at all, and they might not know the unknown and the hidden. So like that was pretty good. And to wrap this up, my food for thought would be a question to you guys or to you, and that'd be, what if reflected appraisal wasn't a part of self-concept? Would a lot of people's self-concepts be different without that outside force making them persuading a change in their perception of themselves?